This is Jeff Glass with Alpha Media Group out here in Dallas, Texas. I'm on the line here with Drew Milio out in Long Island, New York. And we're talking entrepreneurship. We're talking junk removal. We're talking business. We're talking about life and the recent visit out in New York. How's it going, Drew?
Everything's good, Jeff. How you been?
Good. It's been a while. I think, about 6 weeks since I came out to New York, man.
Yeah, it was an amazing trip. Nice seeing you, brother.
My first time out to New York, so Drew got to. I'd been to different places around the U.S., but my first time to the big city, and Drew was an awesome host. Showed me around. I would have been lost otherwise. I didn't feel like I was a real Texan till I actually was there, walking around in cowboy boots, saying yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. When you're in Texas, you don't notice you're Texan, but when I'm in New York and people are, and not that I care about that, but it was just kind of funny. I was like, all right, I'm ready to be back home in Texas, but it was a good time. So what we want to talk about today is a little bit about your business. I wanted to hear about how Undercut Junk Removal got started. So give us a few steps back, the vision of how you got into this type of business and where you planted it. Where did you start at? So just kind of jump into that part of.
So long story short, I owned a welding company. I was about 19. I'm 27 now. So we were riding around trying to figure out how to get more work. Work was slow. We seen a lady carrying stuff to the curb, and she was just dragging it. She really couldn't lift it. It was me and my brother, Kevin. So what we did, I was like, pull over real quick, Kevin. He's like, why? I'm like, let's give that lady a hand. So we went over to the curb, helped her carry some stuff out. And it just so happened she lived on my aunt's block. It was a really weird coincidence. We were just driving around. And he's like, yo, let's help her carry out the rest of the stuff. It looks cool. And we're like, are you throwing it out? She was like, yeah, we're getting rid of it. I was like, yeah, we'll help you carry it. Can we take it? She's like, yeah. So in our heads, we're like, oh, this is a jackpot. The lady's getting rid of all this nice furniture and little collectible statues. And when I was younger, I used to ride around on my bicycle going to yard sales and selling stuff at my buddy's thrift store. So I'm like, let's get the stuff and have a yard sale, and we'll sell some of the stuff at the thrift store. So we took it in our Jeeps. We had Grand Cherokee. So we took it in the Jeeps and drove it to my house and had a yard sale. The lady called me up because I said, give me a ring if you need some help again. She called me up and said, hey, I'll pay you guys to bring the stuff to the curb. So he said, yeah, of course. So, we're 19 years old, and we're just carrying the stuff to the curb. And then we came up with an idea. We're like, hey, let's do junk removal we didn't know about junk removal. We didn't know what it was called, but we're gonna tell people we do this for free, because in our heads, we're 19, right? We got Jeeps. We throw the keep stuff in the Jeep. We bring the garbage to the curb, and then they call up special pickup. So we're running around telling people we do this for free, not knowing people charge for this thing. I had no clue what was going on. And then we met a realtor, and she's like, hey, you could charge for this. I'm like, no way. She's like, people would pay you thousands of dollars for the job you just did for free. I'm like, you kidding me? I made like $3,000 off your stuff. Why would they pay me to take stuff I could sell? Like we would tell people, you supply garbage bags. We take what we want and put the rest of the garbage to the curb. So that's basically how it got started. Now we're here.
So one thing I noticed when you're out there, I'm from San Jose, so I'm not originally from Texas. San Jose is a big hustle area. I thought it was a big hustle area. I come out to New York, man, and I thought I knew what hustle was, but I got schooled. And I'm talking with you, and you're just pointing out, you're downloading with me all these places and how you know the city and networking. So we have a couple different groups of people that watch these videos on our channels. So one is other junk removers who are starting their businesses or looking for some tips. And some are clients that are really wanting to learn more about your business or mine and kind of interested in what we got going on. So I ask you to speak to the junk remover out there on you and I talked about this when we met in person, but talk about the value of networking. I think you nailed it. I'm not even going to try to repeat it. I'll let you do it.
Networking. What I used to do when I first got started. Now things are different. I don't have as much time on my hands. We're very, very busy, but we still do the network meetings. We go to network meetings. They're free. You can meet up with realtors, contractors. You can meet up with local building inspectors, right? You go to these network meetings in the morning times, and it's like a breakfast. You eat breakfast, then you guys sit there, you talk a bit, and you meet tons of people, and it's free. You just pay for the food, and you guys, the networking is crazy. You don't have to pay for a dollar for advertising. You just get your name on Google, get the reviews. People will see who you are from looking your name up on Google, and it's like the craziest thing, because at first I wasn't doing it. And then somebody told me, hey, go network. So I go to these network meetings, I meet these realtors, and then they're just throwing me work left and right. And like, if you're not networking and you don't know certain people, you're not going to get as far as the guy that's just online or the guy that's just on Yelp or Thumbtack or Home Advisor. Like, you got to get out there and meet people in your neighborhood because it's free promotion. You know what I mean? Nothing's better than meeting a realtor. It's their job to get houses. You're going to do a realtor a favor by clearing it out. You're doing them a favor. And they're going to call you up if you're reliable. You're going to get phone calls left and right from these network groups. You meet people in the neighborhood. You go to local like Chamber of Commerce. You go to like Kiwanis, Rotary. You join these groups and you start networking with people. And it really helps out your business, especially like, you know, if you're just starting out. That's what I would recommend for anybody starting out. And if you don't network and you're a very busy person, pay somebody to go to your network meetings at least twice a week. It's definitely worth you paying somebody. I would spend any amount some guy wants me to pay him a day, a reasonable amount, to go to a network meeting and build me a lifetime worth of connections, because it's the money comes right back. It's just money. You know what I mean? And you meet people, and that's worth you get a realtor that's endless. I'd pay anything to have a realtor, you know, just keep sending me work. It's amazing. You got to network if you're in this industry. If you're not networking with people, you're shooting yourself in your own foot.
So you've had some growth in the business. We're going to talk more about your company, but it brings up another point that describe to me working on your business and in your business and where you kind of draw the line. Because you told me, hey, Jeff, there's certain jobs that I'm on them. If they have this, if they're this type of job, I'm going to show up. But I saw you out there, your phone's ringing, you're running your team. So I saw someone that's working a lot on your business, but you gave me an exemption to that. Explain that exemption. Tell me how you run your days.
All right. So my days go like this. I'm on every major job. When it's a big clean out and I know I need a full crew there, I'm there. I am not skipping that. I'm going to be there for the big jobs, the big clean outs, but I don't need to be on a day-to-day operation on my truck. You know, I started the LLC and went major in 2017. It's 2021. I've been off the truck for about 2.5, 3 years now. And I basically got off the truck right away. You know what I mean? Because I hired a crew. I got a bunch of guys. You know, you got to get the workers' compensation, general liability. But my day-to-day operations are I'm answering the phones. I'm sitting here advertising. I'm following up with customers, making sure they're giving me a review. What you do is you have like a little link. You copy it. You add it to your home screen. You just copy and paste the link. You follow up with the customers after your guys go there. What my day-to-day is like, I get the phone call. I write it down in the calendar. I call the customer up, say, hey, my guys are on the way. When, like, let's say for reference, Jose calls me up, says, hey, Drew, we're about 20 minutes out. I call up the customer, say, hey, Jose's 20 minutes out. He's going to call you when he's outside. As soon as the job's done, I follow up with the customer. I say, hey, how did the guys do? What could they have done better? You know, this, that, and the third. And then what I do is I send them a link. Can you give us a 5-star review? A lot of our customers are elderly, so it's very hard for them to do a 5-star review. But if you're not doing this, if you're not having this link copied and pasted and submitting it to people, I highly recommend it because it works. You know, you're definitely going to get 5-star reviews. Me being on the small jobs, I'm not going to go pick up a refrigerator. I don't need to. I trust my guys. My guys are fully capable of going to pick up refrigerators, going outside, picking up garbage bags. Not that they're not fully capable of doing cleanouts, but I prefer to be there because I got an eye for keep stuff. I also own a thrift store. So what I do is I separate the scrap, the garbage, the donations, and the stuff that I'm keeping from my thrift store. And that's what I do when I'm at the big jobs. And then I kind of head out after I go there, separate, talk to the client, and hand out some flyers at the job sites, you know, but I don't have to be there. I got a fully operational crew. Those guys know what they're doing in the field, and I put my full trust in them. You know, you look us up online, nothing but 5-star reviews. All customers are satisfied. I don't need to be there removing rocks every day or removing refrigerators or hauling all that stuff, you know. My guys, they love doing it, and the customers love them, you know. So I'm answering phones, I'm going around. I drive past the house that's for sale. I put a business card there. I put a flyer there. You know, I'm riding around. I see a house with a dumpster. I just put a flyer there. You know, it doesn't work every time, but it works. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just networking during the daytime, answering phone calls, setting up scheduling, and promoting, unless it's a big job, and then I'm there.
Got it. So when I was out there, and what you're describing is you're overlooking the assembly line. You have a whole operation that you got going. but you're
Exactly.
dipping in to the bigger jobs because there might be some valuable items. You know how to
Exactly.
separate, the weeds from the grass, like what's good, what's not going to be good. So
Exactly.
you took me to your store. Explain to me the vision of the store and how that ties in to everything that you have doing, because not every junk removal company has a full operation. I was surprised when I came out, to be honest with you, because we had just talked, but it was a good surprise. And
Yeah.
I saw you checking boxes, so to speak, that I didn't see other companies checking. There's a lot of meat on the bone, like when I was a kid, it's like, your parents would say to you, hey, there's more meat there. You finish what you got. It's like, you take all the meat off the bone, right? You
Of
got
course.
everything from, hey, here's trash removal, here's junk, here's valuable stuff, then you're reselling it, you're networking with everybody. So explain to me the vision and the daily operations of the store you have going on.
All right. So I didn't wake up one day and have a store. It took a lot of years to get to the store. It was a big goal of ours. But what I originally did to get to the store, I set up shop in my garage. I started selling. I found collectors. Hey, you buy comics? Whenever I have comics, I call this guy. Hey, you have records? Whenever I have records, I buy this guy. Hey, you like paper? A lot of people throw out paper, but certain paper is like, it has like advertising on it and all that kind of stuff. You got to know what you're looking at. That stuff's valuable. There's a person that collects that. So I kind of go to the jobs. I sit here and I pick through everything. I don't want to throw out stuff. I want to keep stuff out of the landfill. First of all, it keeps the customers' price down. It keeps my pockets, I don't have to spend money on dumping fees. I'm being as transparent as possible. The more
Mhm.
I put in the dumps, I got to pay for that. I'd rather not. I'd rather donate it or resell it. So, you could set up at the flea market. If you don't have money for a thrift store, you could set up at the flea market. Call up, find out your local flea market. You could do consignment at thrift stores. That's what I was doing. I was doing flea markets, consignment, selling on Facebook Marketplace. If you don't have a shed and in your backyard, you're allowed to put a shed in your backyard. You can sell furniture left and right. You find a person that refinishes furniture. They'll come pick up all your furniture for cheap. It's less money in dumping fees, more profit. You're saving money in dumping and you're making money off the stuff. So you know what I mean? And the thrift store, I bring tons of stuff. It's kind of like a thrift store antique shop. It's kind of a mix. I have stuff for $1 and I stuff for a couple $1,000. You know what I mean? So I try to fill up the store as best as possible. I have a lot of wholesalers that shop at my store. Again, when I'm answering the phones, I'm working at my store. I'm in and out of the store. We have employees there as well. So I try to keep as much stuff out of the landfill and in the thrift store as possible. And if it doesn't go to the thrift store, we donate at local places. You could call up churches. If you can't resell the stuff, you can find places that take it as donations to save money on dumping fees, and landfills don't get filled up as much,
Gotcha. Another thing I've seen people really struggle with, I was watching you on the phone, I was observing, if you didn't
Yeah.
notice, as much as I'm observing everything that's going on in New York, there's a lot coming in, but I'm watching you, your phone's ringing, you have a navigation to it. Subject comes in a lot from the groups about call centers. And
Yeah.
I personally speak against them. I can see the value in them, but it's like when I'm
Yeah.
calling someone in New York, it's different. When I'm talking to someone in Texas, even when I was booking a taxi or an Uber out there, there was a New York culture to it. So when people are calling in, I think there's a big advantage, and I'll get to this in a second, of like, hearing Drew pick up the phone, you're hearing the owner, I'm hearing you junk removal, call after call, and you're talking with these people and you're able to immediately guide them through. But things move fast out in New York. It's not, hey, hold on a second, I have another call, let me get over to you. The way
Yeah.
it operates out in Hawaii, the way it operates in Texas. Texas, man, you want to talk to somebody, they're going to invite you over for tea. You're going to go hang out. You're going to have some brisket. You're going to have a conversation. That ain't going to happen. I learned out in New York, man, you're not supposed to talk to the cashier. Like if you're checking out, you don't, that's disrespectful to the person behind you. Well,
Got to keep it moving. It's fast
yeah,
paced over here. My phone, you've seen my phone rings nonstop. And I'm going to be honest, you guys got my phone ringing 10 times more since you've been here, brother. The phone's been ringing nonstop. You think you check, you got the calls, you see the logs, the phone's nonstop. So like for me, I get 1, 2, 3 calls at a time, right?
mm-hmm.
I got to get on there. Hey, how you doing? This is Drew from Undercut Junk Removal. What do you have going on? They tell me it's either a couch, a love seat. Okay, no problem. Can you please text us over a photo and a location so I can give you a quote? I keep it plain and simple. When I give them a quote, I have
Yeah.
Exactly. Plain and simple. If it's a full house clean out, I'm obviously going to get into more depth. I'm going to have to go there, do an on-site thing. But I'm not going to drive to somebody to go see a couch. I'm not taking shots at anybody. There's people that go do it. That if that's the way they love doing it, that's the way they like doing it. That's the way they do business. Me, I'm a very busy guy. I don't have time to go take a look at a couch. No offense, to people that do it. But I found it works just as I save money and gas. I save miles and I save time. They send me a picture. I give them a quote. When's your earliest availability? I tell them the date and time and we get it done. I like doing same day service a lot. We have a few crews running, 3 to 4 crews in the day, and swinging by, just doing a quick couch pickup. You see me book a few jobs while we were there. Hey guys, go do this pickup.
Right.
So I just have them send me a picture. If it's a bigger job and it's like 5, 10 more pictures, I go in person or I send my manager. They go, they do the quote, and we get them on the schedule. I don't like to waste time.
I was talking to a guy and he was struggling on closing, and I was coaching him through some things. And people in our group, our team, they're closing quite a bit. So on jobs you want to close, what would you say your ballpark close ratio is when you're closing during the day? Jobs that you want to do. I know we don't want every single.
Yeah, you seen guys call me up for concrete. Yeah, can you do it for $500? Listen, you're not going to get every job. Not every job's for you.
Out of 10 jobs that you want, they're primo jobs. How many of those jobs are you closing, doing, providing a service, collecting a check?
I'm going to be honest. If I really want the job, I'm getting it. I'm closing that deal unless somebody's lowballing the job and getting it for a ridiculous steal price. If I really want the job, big cleanouts. I love those. I love hoarder cleanouts. I'm closing the deal. I want the stuff because I make a lot of money at the thrift store. So I could close as many jobs as I want, being realistic, 7 to 8 out of 10, I'm closing on a daily basis. Unless the reason why I don't close them is somebody beats me to the punch, why I can't get them in the schedule and they go out, somebody else gets them. Timing, if you're not around and they want it done today, it's New York. They want it done today. They're not going to wait. Somebody beats me on pricing. Or it's just, they're not being realistic with their expectations and I can't meet their expectations, unfortunately. Those are the 3 reasons I'm not closing jobs. I get back to people. My response rate is pretty quick and our prices are very reasonable. That's how I close deals. It's a good ratio.
That's a great ratio. A lot of people are asking, when they call in, right, customers, how much. And what I learned was to flip the script a little bit because it's not always a money issue, especially in a place like Long Island, New York. It's a time issue.
It's a time issue. Exactly. It's
so I switch up the narrative. I say, okay, we're talking about money. We're going to talk about time. You're talking about weather. We're going to talk about, football. I'm changing the subject. But I already know every customer, those 2 things are going to be of value.
Exactly.
Respect the budget, respect my calendar, respect my wallet, my time,
Of course.
So
and listen, you're working around their time. It's honestly, you work around the customer's time. There's been days where customers, hey, I need this done 9:00 at night. A lot of people, wow, we close at 9. Me, I call up my guy, hey, you want to go out there? Yeah, no issues. I pay him overtime and he goes out there and gets it done or I go out there. There's times I worked on Christmas Eve. Customers need stuff. I did a job for a tag sale guy on Christmas Eve like 3 years ago. And I'm the only guy he calls because I went on Christmas Eve. He called up 5 other places. Nobody was going. This guy's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff and business. All jokes aside, I get calls every weekend for this guy from cleanouts. Every tag sale he does, I do it because I was available. You know what I mean?
Right.
So timing is a big factor in this industry, in any business. You know what I mean? You're up right now. You could be doing a million things, but you're working on your business. I'm working on the business right now,
And that's what it has to be. I say in digital marketing, we don't sleep, we take naps. And then when you got kids, it just compounds from there. But yesterday I took a nap and then it went from basically all day until 8 a.m. and then you nap again, start up.
You're a busy guy. And the best part about you guys is I call you up, I get a response in a reasonable amount of time. That's why I love doing business with you guys. If you don't get back to me, Cassidy gets back to me. It's very reasonable and very quick. I love it. It's amazing.
Very good. That's the same thing too. It's like, it's just doing the little things. You don't have to work your ass off as much as people think when it comes to being successful at business. A lot of it is covering the basics. Show up,
Yeah.
answer the phone, not this necessary order, give a reasonable price, know how to carry a conversation, be fair to people. Don't show up looking like someone who got drunk last night. You know what I mean? Carry
Exactly. All you
yourself
have to do
well.
is present yourself in a proper fashion and listen, be responsive.
Yeah.
If somebody messages you and they're trying to pay, there's guys, yeah, no, all right, goodbye. No, no. They asked me for $20 off. And listen, don't be rude to people that want to pay you. These guys want to pay you money. Why are you giving them attitudes? Don't get me wrong. There's some customers, they push your buttons, but I've seen junk removal companies that give you nothing but an attitude. Oh, you're not paying this much. Have a nice day. And then they complain on Facebook. Why is my business so bad? Your business is bad because you're not being nice to your customers. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
not adjusting your prices accordingly based on situations. Oh, my minimum's $100. Some guy got 1,000 pounds of copper and tells me, hey, can you pick this up for $60? I'm not going to sit here and be like, my minimum's $100. You know what I mean? I'm going to adjust accordingly based
Right.
on the thing. Some people don't adjust and adapt to situations. They get left in the dust, you know?
And that's often going to lead into other jobs. You pick up something on a Christmas Eve, you never know what that's going to lead into,
Dude,
and like you said, just being available, being that person that's able to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm here, I'm available.
exactly.
You can celebrate Christmas the next day. You can go back and see your family. You can get one of your guys out there, maybe pay him a little bit extra, whatever. But
Put it
honestly,
like this. You ready? When your family's on their deathbed, right? They're not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, he missed Christmas Eve this date. He missed that Christmas Eve. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? That's not going to run through their minds. They might be angry at the moment. I understand it. I'm not telling guys, hey, take off Christmas Eve. But listen, I put my business first and my family understands that. You know what I mean? My business is what takes care of me. So
right.
like, I'm that's just me. I'm not telling, people got different situations. They can't do what they got to do, but that's just an example as what happened to me. And I built a very good relationship. Take as much business as you can get, especially when you're first starting off. Don't sit here and turn down jobs. Even if you're going to sit home and make $0, listen, if you're starting off business, you're going to make $100. Get out and go make that $100. Some people will turn it down and be like, I'm worth way more. Listen, you're just getting started. You need every dollar you can get. Make that
Right.
money. Don't turn down jobs because put it like this. Each person is like a branch of a tree. It just keeps expanding and expanding. They refer you. They send you this. They send you customers. Like, dude, it keeps going. And the referrals are key in this industry. Listen, there's times where business is so slow, I don't make anything. I take jobs to keep my people employed. It's the winter times in New York. It gets like, thank God the past 2 years have not been like that. But the first years, it was tough. I had to take jobs where I was making $0. I had investments other like places where I was making money, but I had to take jobs where I was making nothing to keep my guys employed. It all depends on who you are and what you want to do. You could be selfish and say screw you guys. It's a part-time thing, but my guys are my family. They take care of me. I have guys that'll work till 24 hours around the clock because I take care of them if needed. I'm not going to do that, but obviously, but
Right. So networking, but there's another level of networking, which is serving your community. Talk to me
yeah.
about how, you serve the community. How are you involved in Long Island? The more I talk to you, I bring, this person, that person, your name
Yeah.
and brand is known. People don't know just Undercut, they know Drew. And you've
Yeah.
connected that together, right? A lot of people, they take a lot of time leading up to this. Look, do I focus on my personal brand or my business brand? I don't understand the question. They're both important, right? Either it's
They're
not
very important. Yes.
they're both important. So your involvement in the community, give us some things you got going on besides junk removal.
Well, as you can see, I'm in the volunteer fire department in Freeport. I'm actually at the meeting room right now. They let me come over here to do what I had to do. I get very community active. We do a lot of donations. I ride around. You're going to see, we're going to post it on the YouTube channel coming up soon. We're going to be doing these clothing donations. We ride around in the box truck with our logo on it. We donate to the homeless. People love us. We donate to the community. If people's houses burn down, some people call us up. We're trying to expand on that. We're trying to get more out there. But, if people's houses burn down, I have no problem taking a couch, not a beds, I don't want to, dirty beds, but couches, furnitures, dining room tables, dressers. I have no problem driving that and delivering it for free to people. I've done it in the past and I'm going to do it in the future to people's houses who have burnt down and they have nothing. I'm getting paid. Some people be like, oh, you got to pay me. I get very active in the community when it comes down to taking care of people. I've given away tons of stuff. I even went out on, if you look on my Facebook, you'll see videos. Every year on Christmas, I'm buying people presents. I'm also a Mason, my lodge is Mariners number 67, New York State. I'm very active in that community. We do Toys for Tots. I ride around giving away free stuff. I donate stuff to the fire department all the time. We donate, when the COVID happened, we donated masks to the police department. I give kids jobs, they get their little working papers and then they come to me. We get them on the books part-time and, just kids in the neighborhood because they're going through a struggle and they need $100 a day. Listen, you're going through a struggle and you come contact me. Hey, my son needs some extra work. Yeah, no issues. Come over, work in the thrift store, sweep up. Come over, clean my box trucks, power wash it. You know what I mean? So and we just go around and help as many people as we can help out. And I network with a lot of places. Like I do deliveries for churches for free. Like a church will call me, hey, Drew, I have a member. They need this delivered. I'm not going to charge. I like taking care of people because in return, a lot of people take care of me and they take care of my business. And they're like, hey, that's that guy. You're not using anybody else. You're using this guy. You're going to use Undercut. You know what I mean? Like you just take care of your community. The community takes care of you. All jokes aside, that's a very strong thing. Listen, I'm in the volunteer fire department. I volunteer around my community a lot. You can see my guys, sometimes they go around picking up trash, wearing Undercut gear, and people are, they know us in our community. So awesome. Just take care of your community, take care of people around, do small things add up, little things you do, give a guy a free dresser. He tags you in on Facebook. This guy donated me a dresser. This guy did that. There's times also, and you just take care of people.
Even in New York, there's not a lot of traffic on the extra mile, right? There's not a lot of traffic on the extra mile. You can go the extra for people, it comes back. Well, exactly. I know you're on call there. We're going to get into some other discussions. I love having this talk with you and hearing about what you have going on there. But I have two things to wrap up here to pass to you. Tell us areas that you service and give us a call to action, website, phone number. So where you service and how to reach you.
Okay. We service Nassau County and Suffolk County, Long Island. Any zip code in Nassau County, any zip code in Suffolk County, we service the whole Long Island. What you do is you call us up at 516-317-6203, or you go to undercutjunkremoval.com. You can see it on the t-shirt, Undercut Junk Removal. You can see it on the hat, Undercut Junk Removal. You can book us on Instagram, on Facebook. I keep it short and simple. You send me a picture of your junk and I give you a price, and I don't mean junk below the waist. So you send me a picture of your trash, I give you a price. And if it's a full house clean out or too much to take pictures, or you're an elderly person and you can't send photos, or you have an issue, if I can't make it, I can send a guy to give you a quote. And we keep it as simple as possible. We offer same-day service.
All right. So if you're watching this on my channel, please click that like, subscribe. If you're on Drew's channel here for Undercut, hit that like, hit that subscribe. But if you're local out Long Island, hit that share button. Let other people know about the service. This is your guy. I've worked next to him. I thought I was a hard worker, man. This guy will give me a run for my money. So this guy's running and gunning 24/7. So, but I saw the way you run your operation, everything from your team to how you pay attention to detail. So I can tell you as an endorsement, man, I know that people are going to get great service from you. So if you're watching this video, share it, comment, tell us if you've utilized the service before. We'd like to hear from you.
And Jeff, you're amazing also, brother. Don't drop your website as well, because listen, Jeff, you just as much as you're talking about me, you help my success a tremendous amount. Like, all jokes aside, the phone's ringing. I like what you're doing, and I look forward to keep doing business. And they don't have to believe me with the success that I'm having dealing with you guys, but they'll see in the videos that we're gonna upload on YouTube in the future, and it's gonna be a good run, guys. Stay tuned.
Perfect. One more thing, Drew, on that is that one thing I like too is guys that are already working with us. If you're watching this video, you're already in our network. Drew will answer his questions. He'll talk to you about networking. He'd love to hear from you. I've connected a couple of you with him already, but feel free to reach out. This guy's the real deal. And a lot of you are getting started out. You don't have to be intimidated by everything that it takes. You just got to draw from the people around you. And this is a guy you want to draw from. You're going to save yourself a couple of years of time just by the tips that he's running out there.
Oh, and there's tons of other videos on YouTube. You know, there's a lot of good companies out there, and you could just look them up on YouTube. You can join the junk removal discussion groups on Facebook. There's tons of things you guys could do just to learn. And you could always contact me on Facebook. My name's Andrew Milio, Mileo. Just send me an inbox. Say, hey, I'm doing junk removal. I want to get some tips. I always will give people tips. And one tip I'm going to give you guys: don't be scared of your competition. You could work with your competition. You don't have to hate your competition. I work with my competition. I got guys from big name companies dropping stuff off in my thrift store, and we all make money. There's enough work to go around for everybody. So don't be scared of your competition. And I can teach you guys how to do get free leads also, by the way. So I think we're going to do a video on it, Jeff. Me and you, we'll have a discussion about free leads, what people can do to get free leads. And I got it in the books. Trust me.
Well, they'll hear from me too. It's not just the on-site stuff; it's the off-site stuff. I work in the digital world, but I tell people you can't walk around, with one move on this. You got to be saturated. You got to rank everywhere. You got to be involved everywhere. Hey, I tell people, hey, what if the internet went down one day? What are you going to do?
But the thing is, you ready?
What are you going to do? What?
I tried without Google. I tried without a website. It works, but you're going to be down here always. You're not going to be up here. If you're comfortable being down here, don't get a website. If you're comfortable without it, but if you want to get to the next level, there's stuff you need. Look at what your competition's doing and just learn from your competition. Don't sit here and be like, screw these guys. Don't worry. Don't be so aggressive. Look at your competition, learn from your competition, ask them for tips. I contacted my competition asking for tips all the time. Some people will say F off, but people will give you tips. I call up companies, Joseph from Vets Haul Junk. Call him up all the time. Ask Joseph how many times I've called him asking for tips. My man is, Drew, of course, gives me tips left and right.
Yeah.
Call up people, ask for tips. Don't look at everybody as competition, man. Talk to people. Network.
Don't look at everybody as a sale. Don't look at everybody as a transaction.
Exactly.
Joseph, I want to say, man, he contacted me for like 2 years before he became my client. And I wasn't pressuring him. He would just ask questions and this and that. And then one day he's just like, hey, I want to be on the AMG team, And I said, okay. And that's how we take on our clients. It's no pressure. Same thing with us. If you got questions, call us. I'm going to give you some free SEO tips. I'm going to tell you some free website tips. But Drew made an excellent point. Don't be intimidated by your you aren't guys on a car lot and everybody's trying to sell a car. That's not that way. There's such a demand in this industry, and some people are just going to fail at it. They're going to go away. But people that work together, work collectively towards a common goal. Hey, we're going to serve the community. We're going to take care of people. We're going to provide a good service. You don't lose. I've never lost by leaning into my competition. An F you or screw off or who is this? That's not a loss. That's just the way it goes. That's anywhere.
Listen, you're gonna get rejected. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna happen. But once you start doing business, I have a company that feeds me jobs. And when I get busy, I got a guy in Suffolk County. He just got started with his company about last year. He's good. He's out in Suffolk County, Long Island, and I send him work. He sends me work sometimes. I get backed up. I'm going to be honest. I have like 8 trucks, but sometimes I can't get manpower to run the trucks, or sometimes the dumps are closed and I can't do a job and it's just too far for me to do, or I'm very busy. And I send him work and, he throws me a tip and throws me a little referral fee, whatever. But it's not about the money. We build a relationship, and I got guys that drop stuff off at my store. And I see a lot of people trash talking all these big name companies. I got these guys dropping stuff off at my thrift store and sending me jobs like, hey, we didn't get this job, but you're throwing us referral money and you're buying stuff from us. So here's the job, So you can network with other companies. You don't have to look at competition as competition, because trust me, the big guys are going to last. They're here to stay. The little guys are the ones you're here or you're gone. You know what I mean? They got millions of dollars. They got money to sit on and play with.
Right.
Little guys don't got millions to sit on and play with. So,
Yeah. And you don't want to be the cheap guy out there. Joseph and I
Exactly. No, you don't want to. My company's Undercut, but it doesn't mean I'm undercutting everybody. I undercut. And there's reasons why I could price how I price. Again, I have the thrift store. So You might see me price something $100 cheaper, but in return, I'm selling the stuff and making $300 more than you would have made at the junk job. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's, don't judge a book by its cover. Just because the company says undercut doesn't mean we're the cheapest around. Because trust me, I get undercut.
Well, we can talk for days, brother. So to be
Yeah,
continued,
yeah.
right? So we'll talk
Exactly.
soon, and I look forward to it, man. You stay safe out there. Take care.
Listen, I appreciate everything you do for us, guy.